to the show that's sweeping the nation, the Fantasy Baseball League. What does your pink beanie mean? Is this what is that? Does it have some sort of hidden meaning?
It's a vagina hat.
Okay, I'm not even gonna touch that. We're gonna.
Trust me, a lot of us have thought that for years.
We're gonna.
All right.
All right. First matchup, and I think what some people would say was a shocker. Bear Bashers with a 12-6 win over 66-44.
I mean, yes, if you go by no knowledge of anything or any information, yeah, I guess that would be a shocker.
Well, I know that you're very big on the Roto stats.
Here we go.
Bear Bashers hit a robust 238 for the week, yet still won 12-6.
Yes, you faced the Rotostat-wise number 9 team in the league that week. So I'm not surprised with your score. It doesn't move me. Now, I know we've had this little debate about, skewing stats and this and that, but I'm going to tell you the same thing I said upstairs. It's the same thing when you play anybody. Your data is going to be skewed no matter what. Just like when you play Alaska Glaciers, I only need to throw one closer to get a save and not get saves the rest of the week. So I'm going to be low at the end of the Roto stats. Right. I get that. I understand that. But I'm saying a majority of the week, you're playing your team how you would normally play your team. You played the 9th best team in our league Roto stat-wise.
Okay.
And that's him trying all week. So think about it that way. I know you're going to say that your stats would have been better, and I don't argue that, that your stats would have been better. I'm saying, though, you played someone who played to try and catch you and beat you all week and still had the 9th best stats out of 10 teams. Your score should be 12-6. That's all I'm saying. So surprised? No, not at all.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean...
He doesn't like it.
No, I don't like it because...
It's skewed because he benched people.
Right,
but notice I'm not talking about his team. I'm talking about the team he beat.
Well, no, because you were just saying... You're saying the worst team is what, 9th, you said, right? In Roto?
Well, no, we have 10 teams. He was 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was 9 out of 10.
He was 9, and then you said mine was
You
6?
were 6, yes.
6. Now, you're using a point system with every category, right?
No.
I'm confused. I'm asking.
I use... so for offense, I use every category but triples.
Okay, all right.
And for pitching, I use every category but complete games.
Okay, all right.
So basically what Roto stats are is then I take the totals that each team accumulated for the week, and then they get ranked on a point system. Best gets 10, worst gets 1. If there's ties, then you split the points, etc., etc. Add them all up for each category. That's how you get your point total.
Right.
I don't dispute that he says strategies change at the end of the weekend.
Right.
Okay, because he said he benched some starters. So his pitching stats were not as good as...
Although they were still really good.
They were good. Well, I mean...
245 ERA and a 101 whip is really good. How do you say it's not?
You had a lot of good categories.
Yeah.
You also had a couple really bad categories.
Well, yeah.
Wins, strikeouts.
Well, yeah, because I didn't pitch that many guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a simple thing. Like, if you bench 3 guys over a week, you're not going to get as many wins. You're not going to get as many strikeouts.
You're not going to get as many opportunities.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you're definitely going to
Okay, so then what's your excuse for saves?
Oh, yeah, my bullpen.
You bench closers?
No, my bullpen's a cluster right now. I totally admit that.
And also holds, you were at the bottom as well. So what's your excuse for holds?
Well, I had 1, and that's all that I needed.
So he has no holds, guys.
He hasn't had a hold all season, I believe.
Interesting.
Didn't we discussed this, correct? Remember that? Yeah, he does. He does. Anyway,
we're talking about this team, but that's okay.
Anyway, I mean, just to put a bow on it, I mean, if you hit 245 and have a 101 whip, your pitching is obviously pretty good for the week.
I mean, if you have an ERA at 2.4.
Yes, if you have an ERA of 245 and a whip of 101, your pitching is pretty good for the week.
Yes, those got you your highest points in your pitching.
Also that week, Bear Bashers hit 13 home runs, which is 2nd in home runs, I believe. Is that correct?
For the week, it was 3rd.
Okay, but see but you get what I'm saying. That's still a very offensive at least if you hit 13 home runs, that's a pretty good week.
If you hit 13 home runs, all that guarantees you is that your runs and your RBIs are going to high, which is why we're going to be higher. Correct.
Right, but if you have a really good pitching week like I did, and you have a couple of offensive categories that are strong, but you have a good week.
But you were saying that your pitching stats were really good just because of ERA and WHIP. That's the only stats you've given.
Well, no, you took out a complete game, which I did have one. That's still a category.
And that got you a point, correct. I'm saying for roto stats wise, it doesn't make sense to use complete games and stolen bases.
And you're telling me that, I was low on holds. Well, I didn't need the holds. So, I wasn't playing holds guys. Once I got a hold, forget it. It's over.
And what I'm saying is that if 8 other teams in the league play this guy, their score is going to look like yours.
Okay.
Roto stats wise. In fact, if you would have played 1, 2, or 3, the score would have been worse. In total points. Just saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Next match.
Moving on.
Yes.
Ben's champions with a 9-8 win as Team V continues to try to get his first victory of the season.
Yep. 0-3 for the season.
Yeah.
Some people in the text thread think I should be worried. Some people in the text thread think I'm exactly where I should be. Some people in the text thread say this is exactly how Team V is going to perform all year. You're not paying attention, but that's okay. So keeping the trend of the roto stats, score was 9-8. Well, it should have been. This was the first and second best roto stat teams in the league playing each other. The score was 9-8.
Yeah.
What else do you want me to say? The proof is in the pudding.
No, looking over this matchup, it finished the way it should have.
Here's what happened. For the second week in a row, and I'm not making excuses, it's just what happened, and I accept it, I missed starters because of rain. Or I missed players being in my lineup because games get postponed, and they're in my lineup.
Yes, there's been 28 postponements, I heard. That's like a,
Correct, but they're happening. Yes, but they're happening to me on Sundays.
Yeah, well.
It's different if it's in the middle of the week, but it's happening to me on Sundays. And before I get the boo-hoo, check your thing. No, I'm working. Doesn't work that way. I don't sit at a desk. I also am working in a place where I don't have cell phone reception. Think about that one. So, yes, I got screwed over. I believe it was the Braves game. Was the one that got postponed. So I missed a starter, and I had 2 guys in my lineup that didn't play. And look at how close the offensive categories were.
Well, yeah, but I don't see a lot of maybe singles. That's it. Singles was the only offensive category that could have changed for you. I'm looking at it. Maybe batting average.
Maybe 296 to 303, and I had 2 guys playing that night. You don't think that could have changed?
Well, yeah, if they go 0 for 8. Yeah, you would have been worse. You need to get hits out of that. So it's not a given that you're going to have hits when you play the guys.
So what you're saying is just because I say I could have had guys play, that doesn't mean that their stats would have been good.
Pitching and offense are completely 2 different things. If you have pitchers who pitch, yes, they're going to get strikeouts. That is a given. If a batter actually has that bats, doesn't mean he's going to get hits.
Interesting.
Sorry.
Interesting.
But yes, all the other categories were too far away other than singles and batting. How about the pitching categories? Pitching categories.
So there's 2 points.
Yeah, your pitching was, really good. 2.31 ERA and
I'm saying, were there any categories I could have won there? Because I had a starter, not start.
Who was the starter?
It was the Brave starter. It was Fulton, whatever his name is.
Okay. Well, you lost strikeouts by 9. To just assume that he'd get 9 strikeouts.
Well, don't forget, if he got postponed, that means Viz Cayeno got postponed. So there's 2 pitchers there. So 9 strikeouts from a starter and a reliever.
Yeah, and a quality start.
And a quality start. How about wins?
Wins were tied.
So there's...
Yeah, pitching's a lot different than... I was talking about batting.
Right, I'm just saying.
That's fine. Yes, I'm saying there are definitely categories of pitching that could have changed.
And it happened in our matchup too on Sunday, but it is what it is. I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. I like people thinking I'm down. I like that. It's fine with me. No other comments? Again, number 1 and number 2 for you roto stat lovers out there. Bench Champions was number 1.
Well, yeah, he had 20 home runs.
Oh, yeah.
That's not going to happen very often to have that many home runs. He is Do you have cumulative rotos here or not? Or is this just you just
For
have
the year?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to the yearly where I do.
If you look at cumulative home runs, it's insane how far ahead he is of everyone else in home runs.
Well, then I would venture to say he's also number one in runs and RBIs.
I'm pretty sure that's true. Yeah. Because I put it in that text thread the one time. Remember? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, he was. Okay.
If only he believed in pitching or bullpens.
His pitching wasn't that awful last week, but
it was number 7 in the league.
Let's see.
Number 7.
Yeah, but again, if you see, this is Roto. God, you kill me with this. If you know you're going to lose the stats, why would he just keep churning? Like when he sees you with a 2.01 ERA, and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to win those categories. So it's like you act like
you can
for
still
sure,
win wins, quality starts, and strikeouts if he throws guys.
Yeah,
that's 3 categories. So you just giving
away.
I
got to go back to the matchup again because you just won't shut up about it.
I'm not. All I'm saying is you're saying
he won strikeouts. Why would he keep pitching guys to win strikeouts? I'm just saying he needs. There's a transaction limit, so he can't sit there and just continue to churn over and over again to try to get higher wins. Like, yeah, the wins was the only thing, and he won quality starts. So I don't know why he would. The only thing he could have kept churning for was wins. I'm looking at it because he won all the other cumulative categories. Because I'm just saying, he probably knew ERA and WHIP were done, so he was like, screw it. I'm saving transactions because I need 200 for the year. But it's all about Roto, apparently. Anyway, moving on. Team Joe Boo continues the hot start, 13-5 over Alaska Glaciers.
Now, Roto-wise, score is what it is. It's exactly the way it should be. Team Joe Boo, 3rd highest Roto stats in the league. Now, yes, 3rd. Sorry, 3rd.
What?
Alaska Glaciers, 8th. 8th. Yes. What are you surprised about?
Because you're saying that Team Joe Boo had the 3rd highest Roto stats, and I'm looking at his numbers, and it's not. ERA 4.21. We've talked about everybody having a lower ERA than 4.21. WHIP at 117. That's on the low end of WHIP. Even in batting, he hit 7 home runs for the. That would be low on the end of home runs. So how is that 3rd in
okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 17 categories. You just picked his 3 lowest. That's called skewing your data in your favor.
No, I'm not done.
Bench champions.
No, I'm not done. 6 losses. That's got to be low. Not a lot of people have 6 losses.
Correct.
So here we go. Now we're up to 4.
You hit his 4 lowest. You're at the bottom of his 4. Go ahead, give me another one.
Let's see here.
Here, let me help you out. He was 3rd in runs. He was 2nd in singles. He was 2nd in doubles. He was 5th in RBIs. He was number 1 in stolen bases, number 2 in batting average, and 5th in on-base percentage. So congratulations.
That sounds like a number 3 offense for the week. Yes, absolutely.
That was actually the number 2 offense for the week.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Pitching. He was. I never said he was great in pitching.
He wasn't.
He was 5th. Or I'm sorry, 6th. 6th in pitching. 6th.
Man,
yeah.
I don't see how. 5 wins, 6 losses, 86 strikeouts. 4.21 ERA, 117 WHIP, 6 cat.
Because you know why? You know why? No, you know why? Here this brings it all together. Do you know why his stats aren't the worst? Why? Because you played the guy that had the worst pitching stats for the week. Everything you're saying, well, how could his stats not be the worst? Because everyone you're naming...
I'm not saying the worst.
Everyone you're naming, the guy that this guy just played against, had worse than that.
I'm not saying the worst. What I'm saying is that you said it was the 6th best pitching staff. So you're saying there was 4 pitching staffs that were worse than that.
Yeah. And you played against one of them.
Just one, but there's 3 other guys that was worse than that.
Well, guess what? You can only play against one.
All right.
You can only play against one team.
All right. I'm getting so sidetracked with your stupid Roto stats. What I wanted to do was actually look more into the matchups and say, okay, this guy had, player X who did this, but I can't even do it because you got me so freaking riled up.
Well, you can't do that because we've already gotten complaints about that. They don't want to hear about player X.
They don't want to hear about player X?
No.
They don't want to know why it was...
No, Globo Gym doesn't want to hear about players and stats that they did for the week.
Why?
We did that in the beginning. That was one of the things.
So this entire thing is just geared towards Globo Gym now? Is that what you're telling me?
He was in first place.
So, what does that matter? All right. Fine. I won't talk about it then. But see, I think a random somebody who would stumble onto this video would be like, well, I didn't learn anything about this video because I don't know anything about
Who would
the
you
players.
like to talk about from that matchup? Go ahead.
Well, I don't know yet because I didn't look at it.
Correct. Once again, proving he does no research for the videos. He literally sits down and looks on his phone.
Rafael Devers had a very good week. He had 350 for the week. 1 homer, 6 RBIs. Villanueva has had a huge start. Mm-hmm. He, at one point last week, had the highest OPS in the majors. In the majors.
He is a swinger.
Yes. What are you doing? Why are you making faces or whatever you're doing? Andrew Heaney was a horrible start. Absolutely terrible. That's probably why he's down to 6th in the pitching there. Because he gave up 15 total bases. That's a lot for one start, is it not?
Yeah, that does sound like a lot. It means you're giving up.
Yeah.
As Globo Jim would like to say, he's getting hard hits.
Also, Ian Kennedy with a 16 total base start.
He got lit up. He got lit up.
Yep. So, okay. Just a couple of... But I think I'm just a couple of people. That's all.
Go for it, dude.
All right. Next matchup. All Rise with the 13-3 dumping of 5 Swords. You look confused.
No, this would be one of the ones where I'm actually going to say that 5 Swords was unlucky with the matchup because roto-wise, this is number 7 against number 10, and both these teams had horrible stats. But again, this just goes to show you, like, you can't control who you're playing. And if anybody else ranked above these teams, their scores probably look...
I don't know, man. I'm in Bizarro world right now with you. 5 Swords stats are so bad, he would lose to anybody, right? He had to be worst, right?
He was the worst team,
yeah.
roto stats-wise.
Yeah.
Right. So that means you weren't listening to me.
Well, no. You said that these were unlucky. Who cares who he played? Who was he going to beat?
No. I'm referring to the fact that... unlucky in that the 2 of the 3 worst teams in the league played each other for the week.
So you're saying it was unlucky for everybody else in the league?
Correct.
Okay,
I mean, this is an All Rise benefit because his roto stats were 7th, and he got a 13-3 drubbing because he got to play the number 10 team.
Yeah.
Whereas for example, I had to play the number 1 team.
All right. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I got you. No. All right. I was confused on what you were actually saying. Yes, 5 Swords with a 200 average for the week. I mean, that's got to be worse, right?
Yeah. He was dead last or next to last in every offensive category except for stolen bases offensively.
Right. And a 3.79 ERA isn't great.
He was not the worst pitching staff.
No, but it's not great. I mean, it's like 8 or something, right?
No, that would have been the guy that you played, had the worst pitching.
Like it mattered. And WHIP was 144 for the week. That's got to be really bad.
That is not the worst, as...
Wow.
The worst pitching for the week was actually from Globo Gym.
No? Yeah.
Second worst ERA and the worst WHIP
Is that
for the week.
foreshadowing?
Maybe.
I don't know. Could be. But yeah, 5 Swords team was so bad. It doesn't
He's
matter.
in trouble.
Who would have played 5 Swords?
I've said this from the beginning of the season that his team's in trouble. This guy had the audacity to put him in his power rankings for the first week for some reason. By the way, it's on video, so that's forever. Had him in his power rankings as a top 6 team.
Well, again, what I said is that his pitching was doing very well, and now his pitching did not do well, and then he got spanked. That's what happens. I never in a million years thought he would hit 200 for the week. Do you think his offense is that terrible?
It's been 2 weeks in a row now. I don't have the cumulative stats, but it's been 2 weeks in a row where he's been down the bottom.
Mike Moustakas is really coming to life for All Rise. And Miggy showing signs of hitting 429 for the week. And I really liked Middleton as a closer for him because it seems like he is the guy, and it's very hard in this market to get closers that are the guy.
Is he going to be the guy, though? You know how Sosha is.
Until he screws up, yes.
Correct.
So,
Interesting.
So yeah, just trying to concentrate on the positives. Not going to pay attention to the negatives. So last matchup, Zips and Globo Gym with the 8-8 tie. Give me your Roto junk.
Roto stats wise, Globo Gym was 4th with a 105 rating, and Zips was 4th with a 104 rating, and they tied.
All these categories are very, very close. However, I would say I disagree with him. I think they're both very unlucky because their pitching stats were both very, very good. If they would have played someone other than each other, they would have picked up more wins.
You had the number 1 against the number 3 pitching stats for the week.
Right.
But you had the number 8 offense in Globo Gym for the week versus the number 5 offense.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
And I think that is a trend. If anything, you can agree on the Roto stats, as it's shown now with teams like Globo Gym and Ben's Champions. You can be dominant in one, but if you're awful in the other, you're going to get mediocre results. You're not going to get those consistent results. I mean, Ben's Champions is by far the best offense in the league.
Right.
But because his pitching is so bad, that always makes him a middle-of-the-pack matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Globo Gym, and this could, maybe it's not going to be the trend. I think this has been 2 weeks in a row where he's been really good at something, either hitting or pitching, and the other one's been god-awful. And he's not getting the dominant performances that he thinks he should be getting.
I am still very concerned about Zips' offense.
He is trying to address it. He is actively shopping Marcell Ozuna.
Good luck on that. And
yes, he has no takers so far.
I saw that he outright dropped Carpenter. Did you see that?
You spoke about that this morning.
Yelich has come back now. Might take him a while to get, full bore.
He does have a few guys that could ignite that offense, but there's just still no depth. Zip's strategy of not having depth, I think this is one of those times where it really hurts him.
Yeah. I mean, clearly Jose Ramirez is the only offensive player who's doing anything for him. I mean, he had 4 home runs last week.
Right.
I mean, Bellinger's like his second. Well, okay, Shaw had a decent week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm very concerned about Zips' offense still. So, any other?
But I will say this: if he continues to put up middle of the pack offensive stats and top 3 pitching, he'll be in a lot of matchups.
Okay.
I think he'll be in a lot of matchups that way.
All right.
What was your biggest surprise score of the week?
Oh, definitely Team Joe Boo with a 13-5 win. But you wouldn't say that?
Not after I look at the Roto stats.
Well, no, not looking at the Roto stats. You had a guy that had a 111 cumulative score against a guy who put up a 78. That shouldn't be.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a surprise that Alaska Glaciers was that poor.
I will give you that. Okay, now that statement I'll agree with.
Yes.
It's surprising that Alaska Glaciers put up poor team stats. I'll give you that.
I mean, would you think he would only hit 220 for the week ever? An Alaska Glaciers team?
No, it's not usually.
No, that's what I'm saying, and that had a lot to do with what was going on. What are we looking at? What are you doing?
I was going to answer my own question, but I don't. Again, using my Roto stats, none of the scores really surprise me.
But we do have a hot topic this week. As I segue fluently, Team Joe Boo, with the hot start, we're going to look into that team and see if it is sustainable. Okay? And that's more of a just look at the players, and do you think those players can maintain what they're doing? Or do you think they're going to drop off? Do you think they could even do better?
Okay.
All right?
Sure.
All right. Pink beanies in the house. Hot topic. Okay, so if you look at these standings, Team Joe Boo is in a firm first place. How many games up, do you know? Something like 8?
Sure.
You don't even know. Don't even know, man. Anyway, we'll figure that out at the end. Because I have all of his players pulled up. We're going to look Right now, Cano hitting 313, 2 homers, 9 RBIs. That sounds about what he would do on pair. You know,
What would you expect?
What would you expect?
That's what we'd expect.
Okay, Devers is only hitting 267. He's got 3 homers and 17 RBIs. Do you think Devers could do better than that on the batting average aspect?
I think he's a 270-ish hitter.
270. I would agree with that. Segura at the 289.
Segura's a stud.
Yeah, he's already has 4 stolen bases. So, I mean, he's on pace for probably like.
A little surprised with the OBP being only 314 though.
Yeah, he's not walking a lot. Lorenzo Cain really looking like a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Great.
probably the guy that.
I mean, he did say that he noticed that outfield was a weakness on his roster. He
Yeah.
addressed it. Starling Marte,
Yeah.
Lorenzo Cain, big additions.
Yeah. I mean, Marte with a 280, 3 homer, 10 RBIs. He got 7 stolen bases. So I mean, he's filling up all the categories.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna Nick Markakis is out to a big start, but that's Nick Markakis.
He already dropped him.
Yeah. So I'm not even gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Leonis Martin on his team is surprising.
It was just for the doubleheader.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think that's sustainable what he's doing.
No, I don't think so either.
Love Cesar Hernandez. I think he's very underrated. A guy I tried to acquire from Team Jobu all off season.
Mm-hmm.
He actually got pretty smart, so he told me he was eventually going to drop him. So I stopped asking for him in trades, thinking that he was going to do it. But looking back now, that was just a ploy, so I'd stop asking for him. So
Yeah. Well,
kudos.
his biggest attribute is that he walks a lot. See that OPB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He fills up categories there too. He's a category guy, especially he's going to be hitting the top of this red hot Phillies lineup. Abreu.
Yeah. Abreu with 6 homers and 12 RBIs.
It's his power guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a little bit high. I mean, this guy isn't finishing with 40 homers. So.
But at the end, here's my question though. At the end of the season, if he did have 40 homers, would you be surprised?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think he's
Wow.
a 40 homer guy,
Wow.
especially in that lineup. Why pitch
What
it
about
to
that?
him?
Why that ball? Well, you can't control what other teams are doing.
But no, I'm just saying in general. I would
that
say.
ballpark, why not? Bradley Zimmer, I've never been a fan of.
No, I'm not a big fan of his Zimmer.
Frenchie Cordero, I'm not buying the hype.
I would say that Springer would actually be on the low end. I mean, even though the home runs and RBIs are about there, I think he's a little bit better than a 248 guy.
You'd think. I mean, this is kind of the George Springer that Globo Jim and I thought he would be. Just we didn't know it was going to take him 6 years to get to it, but yeah, a little surprise. It's the World Series hangover. I mean, I just think we'll see. I think he's going to improve definitely though.
And we've already talked about Villanueva
Yep.
with the.
Your love affair. Yeah.
Well, I'm just stat's a stat, right?
Stat's a stat.
Now he is hurt right now,
Stat's
so I
a
mean
stat.
that could change everything.
Okay.
He still has Souza coming back sometime. Jake Lamb's
Humidor.
coming back eventually. Yeah, that's very true.
Greg Bird's done.
Oh yeah,
I
don't
would just
care about
drop
Greg
him.
Bird, yeah.
I would drop him. He's done playing baseball.
I don't think he's done playing baseball, but he's done being fantasy.
How about
relevant
Jake
probably.
Lamb?
He is what he is. I don't know.
Well, he's hurt right now.
Yeah, well then he's hurt. No, I mean I'm just saying in general. I've never been a huge Jake Lamb fan because he is just so atrocious against lefties. And
That
if
should
he's-
make you a Jake Lamb fan. You love split guys.
Don't get me wrong, split guys are fantastic, but when you're that bad against lefties, what happens in the 7th inning? Who are they bringing in on the bullpen to face you? The correct answer is a lefty.
Lefty.
Thank you. Okay, now let's divulge into the pitching here.
Divulge.
I think Lester's okay. I don't think Lester's great. Do you?
No.
I mean, I think he's just serviceable at this point in his career. Like it's not like he shouldn't own him, but I think what you're getting out of him right now with his 3.29 ERA, that's probably on the high end. Or how should I say that? Good end for him. I think it could even get a little bit worse than that by the end of the season.
Interesting.
So few starters. Apparently he's into Cubs because he still has Chatwood, and Chatwood.
You said he was a big pickup.
Chatwood was a guy I was really into before the year started, but he's having control issues. He's walking too many guys, and that's why his whip is that high.
Doesn't give up a lot of total bases though.
That's because he's walking them all right now. That's his issue.
Okay. Tyson Ross did look good before last night's start.
Hey, whenever you're pitching in San Diego, it's not bad. Not a bad place to pitch.
Charlie Morton.
Charlie Morton he did have that one bad start. Did you see that this week?
Nope.
Okay, well, he had one bad start this week, so he came back to earth a little bit. But other than that, he has been
Is
really,
it sustainable,
really good.
though? That is the segment.
Is it sustainable?
Is a 1.86 ERA sustainable?
I'll tell you what, Morton is legit. But he always has injury issues. So if he can actually roll out there all year long, he will have a very, very good year. Yes. Is he going to finish with a 1.86 ERA? No, but I could see him with under a 2.5 ERA if he goes all year.
Under a 2.5.
If he stays healthy all year, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Tanner Roark, I'm surprised is having this good of a start.
3.77 ERA is good.
Well, WHIP at 1.0 is what you got to look at more than the ERA. You know what I mean? If you have a WHIP that's 1.00, you're doing your job. Because you can't always control that ERA stuff, man.
Right.
I mean, that could be poor defense and all other things. Because an outfielder can't get to a
I
ball.
don't think he's getting a lot of run production when he's pitching.
Well, that's definitely possible. I mean, he only has one win, so I would say that's probably true.
Your boy.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of talk on the text thread when Manea had, had his no-hitter. By the way, speaking of that, did you actually see the play that was quote-unquote in air by Semien? Did you see it?
No.
He has his back to home plate, and he is running full bore on an over-the-shoulder catch, did not catch it, and they gave him an air just to keep that no-hitter. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So it was really a one-hitter, despite what the record books say. Let's see here. I am still going to maintain, is there innings pitched? I don't like the idea that he's got 36 and 2/3 innings and only 30 strikeouts. I don't think you can have that low of a K rate and sustain what he's doing.
It's good data to use, yes. But look at the WHIP, under 1.
Yes. I mean, he's off to a ridiculous start.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not.
So,
I just don't,
is or is not sustainable?
No, it is not. No, he will come back to earth and he'll hit it hard too. And another thing that's happening is that it helps when you get to pitch with. I mean, the A's offense is just crazy right now. They're scoring all kinds of runs. They're not going to stay that hot forever. So that's another thing that's going to happen. And then this guy who I cannot stand is Danny Duffy. I feel like this guy gets put into like ace conversations sometimes, and I don't know why.
Because he has pretty good stuff, decent spin rates, but for whatever reason this year it's not happening.
No.
Not happening for him.
And, I mean, his K rate's not bad. 25 2/3, 25 Ks.
Right.
He's at least getting the one an inning. But, 5.26 ERA, 152 WHIP. Doesn't help when your team is just anemic offensively.
Right.
So,
I mean, he has some starting pitchers that are performing very well, and maybe they are going to sustain it, and that would be good for him. I'm more concerned about, not concerned, but I'm confused about the bullpen. I mean, you've got two actual closers. Keona Kayla. I guess Hunter Strickland is the actual closer, pending on
Melanson's situation.
So, I mean, they've got good stats now. Well, I mean, Kayla does not have good stats, and neither does Betances. Why do you have Dellin Betances is my question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
I guess he figures he's next in line if Chapman goes down. But I'm not 100% sure that's how that's going to work. So, I would say that's why he has him.
Can't throw strikes. Betances cannot throw strikes.
Yeah, it's clear.
So you are saying what then? This is Team Jobu is sustainable or unsustainable?
I'm saying that it is to a certain extent. Does that make sense?
No, not just like anything you say.
No. I look at his players. I think his offense is about what it could be. I don't think it's going to fall off the table. I don't think it's like it was in previous years where he had a bunch of old men who could just get hurt any day, and then, that's the end of that. The pitching, I don't think it's that great, but and we talked about this earlier. I don't think you can change this through free agency. Like, what you got now is kind of what you're going to have to roll with. There's not going to be many guys in free agency that you can come and.
It's pitching wise, it's very slim pickings right now. It's It's tough. I think it's very hard pitching-wise, and I don't know if that's just guys are holding on to starting pitchers more now or what the deal is. Offensively, I think it's a joke, some of the guys that are still sitting out there. I could find roster room. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't understand. But everybody runs their team the way they want.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it is sustainable. I think it's I know that he even mentioned in the text thread that he was just lucky with the schedule that he had so far. And I mean, he played Alaska Glacier, so it wasn't like he played a nobody, but through your roto stats you said Alaska just had a bad week.
He had the third worst roto stats. So,
Right.
I mean,
So
he has been lucky even though he's playing names.
Yeah.
Who else? He's also played our two other favorite teams that we love to rag on, correct? Well, he played All Rise, he played Zips, and he played Alaska Glaciers. Who Zips, other than up until this week, was down at the bottom, roto stats wise, the first two.
Right.
So everybody he's playing, maybe that's the new thing for Team Joe Boo is he's playing teams that are going to have really bad weeks against him.
Well, I think what we need to do next week.
Next week,
teaser, because we'll be 4 weeks in. Okay, I think, and you don't even have to do any work because it does it itself. We should look at cumulative. You know what I mean? Bring down your little, what is it? The iPad. Do you have an you have an iPad, don't you?
I have a tablet. I'm
tablet?
not an Apple person.
Okay.
I'm a droid.
Well, bring down your tablet.
Droid.
We can look at the team stats and say, okay, this guy is in 5th place and his roto stats are
His cumulative roto
his
stats.
cumulative
Okay.
rotos. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do any work because it does it itself. So
It does it itself.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we'll do next week, and then we'll decide. But is Team Joe Boo sustainable? I think his stats say yes, but maybe he's had a little bit of luck on his side playing good.
Are his
teams.
stats sustainable for a top 3 finish?
I would say the pitching, no. I would say though he's definitely a lot better than everybody thought. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, I definitely didn't. I had Team Joe Boo not making the playoffs.
Yeah. He's
His
definitely
old guys are not old. It's not as old as we thought.
well. That's that.
And he got rid of most of them.
Yeah,
so.
he did. Yeah, it's more.
Smart champion.
Okay, so we are going to come back. We noticed that there are a few records. Yeah, records. All right, now we have records, and apparently there are three brand new records.
Records being set every week. This is a historic year, year 15.
Wow.
History.
We're old.
Yes, you are. You are old.
You're older than me.
Globo Gym, new low standard for total bases. 56.
Globo Gym? Didn't we talk about how bad his pitching was?
He benched his pitching.
Why? Do we know?
I don't know.
Doesn't.
Does that not sound right?
Well, it doesn't sound right because we talked about how poor his pitching was this week, right? No, we didn't. Because it was Globo and Zips had the good pitching. You said that Globo's pitching was bad somewhere along the line. You talked me into it.
No, he had the number 1 pitching staff. He had the number 8 offense.
Okay.
Number 8 offense.
I do believe that there was a Freudian slip early on in the video where it was discussed that he had poor pitching.
Oh yeah, he had the best ERA in WHIP.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all. It's okay.
It's backwards. It's
all
roto
right.
stats. It's new. It's new.
Okay.
So I'm sticking to my original record, 56 total bases, new record.
All
He
right.
also set the new WHIP
Okay.
at .84.
Okay. And that makes sense then.
Yes.
Okay. So now everything makes sense. Very
The
good job.
shocking record of the week,
Shocking record of the week.
finally getting some positivity in the record books, is All Rise. 9 quality starts.
Yes. And just looking at how this week could shake out, All Rise could be the hot topic of next week.
Well, the other thing I want to tell you about his record-breaking quality starts, he threw the most innings of anyone last week and still had the 4th best pitching stats overall. Normally that's a recipe for disaster. And when I mean the most, I mean he threw everybody. Didn't matter who they were facing, he rolled them out there. I think he had like 20 or 30 more innings than...
He's always going to do that, you know.
Yes, well, and it worked for him.
Yes.
It did work for him.
Yes, it did. So yes, there could be a lot of discussion about All Rise next week. But now it is time for everybody's favorite segment, Power Rankings. You can show a little bit more excitement.
Why is it their favorite segment?
Because they tell me. I don't know about you, but I mean, I get texts and emails and phone calls, and they're like, "Hey, I really like watching you, but that other guy, can you get rid of that guy?" All right, Pow Power Rankings.
Mine are going to be boring, just to let you know.
Boring.
I don't have a lot to shake up based on Roto stats.
Oh yeah, it's all about the Roto stats.
It is.
Okay, who is your number 6?
My biggest dropper.
66-44. I'm surprised he's still in your top 6 with his bad week 3.
He had a horrible Roto week, number 9, statistically. However, go back and watch the video. In the first 2 weeks, he was in the top 4 both times. So this is either going to be a new trend for him, which you and I think is more the norm for his team, or it's a blip, and he's going to be back up in the top 4 again. I'm making a bold prediction. This will be the last time that 66-44 is in my power rankings.
Wow. Is there a certain reason?
I just said it.
Well, no, but I mean,
We don't think his team is going to be as good as it started out to be.
Okay. All right. But see, with all the young players, you don't think it'll get better as the season progresses. That's what I'm.
Well,
It's obviously the young.
Because I always like to give you both sides of the story. Why is it always assumed that because they're young, they're going to get better? Have you seen how awful Benintendi's been?
Yeah, he's been really bad.
He's terrible.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not.
So it's not always an assumption that young guys are going to be great.
But
we'll see.
Okay.
You're number 6.
My number 6 is Bear Bashers. It's me. I don't know why that's ridiculous. I don't know why you're shaking your head like that's an impossible thing.
Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. Do you want me to do it for you? Go ahead. Let's hear why.
Because my pitching's ridiculous, and you'll see that next week. That's why I wanted to do this, because you'll see next week how good Bear Bashers pitching is, and then you'll see when you have the cumulative team stats as to be like, oh, Bear Bashers isn't as bad as I thought. Okay, continue next.
I will remind the viewers again that he played the number 9 Roto team.
Doesn't matter. You're going to see it in his Roto stats how good Bear Bashers pitching is, because I already saw it last week, so I know it. So go ahead, continue.
Number 5, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one.
Team D. Well, that's very similar to mine. Team D, number 5.
Despite not winning a matchup this season, top 4 finish in Roto stats every week. I'm just going to call it what it is. It's the unlucky bug right now.
Ooh, so unlucky. I know. So sad. But anyway,
your reason for Team D?
I believe the biggest unlucky week was actually this week, week 3. I don't think it was nearly as poor as unlucky as the first 2 weeks, because apparently, is Bear Bashers in your power rankings?
No.
No. So that's who you lost to in week 2, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Who did you lose to in week 1?
Alaska Glaciers.
Alaska Glaciers. Where's Alaska Glaciers at in your power rankings? We have to wait and see, huh?
Correct.
All right. But see, there you go. So, I mean, you lost to a team who isn't even in the power rankings. So apparently...
Correct, but you are failing to state what your Roto stats were in week 2.
I know. They were just off the chain. They were just so much better than every other week for some reason.
They probably were, because you played me.
No, they weren't. All right, continue.
Number 4, speaking of them,
Alaska Glaciers.
My second biggest dropper, from 2 to 4. Could be a blip. I don't expect him to put up the 8th best Roto stats every week. His team should not be that bad. If I break it down, I believe his culprit was actually, and you're going to be surprised by this, was his pitching.
Wow.
8th best pitching staff, Roto stats wise.
Yeah, that definitely is surprising. My number 4 is Team Jobu.
Wow. So you dropped him.
No. He was 4 last week for me. He was 4 last week.
I thought he was 3. Okay.
Or maybe even 5 last week. I'm a little confused here, but either way,
it's every day.
almost ready to move him up even more. I think it had more to do with what 1, 2, and 3 did, and that's why I didn't really swap that out much, as opposed to why he didn't move up. So I have him at number 4.
My number 3.
That is also my number 3, Ben's Champions.
Number 1 Roto Stats last week. And
Does that include pitching?
yeah, he had number 1 total.
Even with that pitching, huh?
Well, his offense was by far and away. I mean, he had the best offensive categories in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories.
But what was his total pitching?
Total pitching was 7th.
So,
But-
do you see how that sounds weird?
No, because here's why. And here's what you got to understand with the Roto Stats. He still was top 3 in wins, quality starts, and strikeouts. So he's still getting the higher point values from the Roto Stats in that sense.
Okay.
His cumulative for pitching though was poor,
Yeah.
but because his offense was so good,
Yeah.
that's how it balances out. Still not a big fan. Can't disagree with stats. Best offense in the league by far. I think if you can get any offensive categories off of him, I think you should be happy. He's addressed the batting average and on-base issues he had last year with some of the trades he made. It's scary if he gets any kind of pitching and a bullpen. I think he'd run away. I think he could run away. The only person that's going to stop Ben's Champions from being the best team in the league is
Ben's Champions.
Ben's Champions.
Yeah. Anyway, my number 2. Oh, no. You're number 2. You go first. Go ahead. It's Team Joe Boo. You have him up that high. You're a believer. You're a believer.
I'm not a believer.
You have him number 2. You must believe.
I believe in his Roto Stats.
Wow.
He's been top 5 all 3 weeks. He's moved all the way up to number 3 this week. I'm not convinced on his team, but I'm going by stats this year.
Okay. I do think it's interesting that he was basically panned as the worst team by everyone before the season started.
That's not true. Preseason rankings?
Preseason rankings, it was. It
5
was,
swords.
No, it wasn't. Remember, because he actually voted himself higher,
That's
he would have
right.
been last.
Right. They tied.
Yeah.
They tied.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
I am corrected. I sit corrected.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
I said I sit.
All right. My number 2 is Alaska Glaciers. I'm dropping him down 1 slot, and he has to be very, very careful because last week was so poor out of him. He needs to do much better, or he will drop. He will plummet farther into the
my number
power
1
rankings.
is still
the
the same number 1.
My number 1 is the new number 1, Globo Jam.
That's how he is.
Well, that's how it works.
Changed his mind.
You gotta, of course you're going to change your mind. It's power rankings of every week. You should be changing your mind if things change.
Not if you're right.
Right.
Number 1 from the beginning, still number 1. Dropping a little bit though, number 4 in the Roto Stats for the week, but hey.
I don't see anybody else replacing him yet. We're going to have to wait and see how this whole week shakes out. There's definitely some interesting scores that could change things. So
We're only halfway through the week, so anything can happen.
And we talked it over. There was really no transactions that we really needed to talk about. There was no trades.
No. There are a lot of transactions going on.
Yes. Wait, you said there was 3 guys over 50?
There are 1 guy with 53, 1 guy with 50, 1 guy with 49,
Yeah.
1 guy with 47.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of transactions.
And then we have All Rise with 8.
And
Congratulations.
oh, what's happening?
I have a virus.
You have a virus?
Yep.
I'm too close to this guy. I'm going to get sick. All right. So,
That's it?
We
You're
will
just going to walk away?
yep, I'm leaving.
Thank God.
Next week, we will be back with week 4.